Oh, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dead Funny Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Joined today is my co-host, JoJo, and special guest star, James, in the building. Back at it again. Woot. Man, dude, it's been a fucking nuts week. Oh my god, there's been so much shit going on. So first and fucking foremost that I want to get to, fucking cancel culture, back at it. They have been going hard, fucking hard at Dave Chappelle over his Netflix special, which I did not, I saw coming. I don't think you could cancel Dave Chappelle. I literally don't. I mean, it's one thing to be good at something. It's another thing for most of the people who are really fucking good at something to call you the GOAT of it. So to be the GOAT of comedy, I don't think that he's going anywhere. So I see two things with this. And now I'm kind of all over the place right now. Two things with this. One, it really shows how much that cancel culture really... It's hard to fight cancel culture as a person. I feel like, which is funny because the next thing that I want to get to is definitely a person. But this seems like it would, if anything, it's going to be more damaging to Netflix than anything else. And that's if they choose to continue to keep airing the special, because I know they've talked and debated about it. But right now, anybody who is underneath Dave Chappelle like level of fame that wants to do a Netflix special, I'm pretty sure there's going to be like a lot of like really debating of like, well, we need to hear what your jokes are up front, type deal. But like with someone like Dave Chappelle, like, I even remember reading a story about like how whenever he went to Africa, he came back and there was like a whole spiel that he had with HBO where like, back whenever he first pitched the Dave Chappelle show, they said, why do we need you for this? Like, we could fucking get anybody for this. Why do we need you? Because he wanted a certain amount of money. So he took it to Comedy Central, and they loved the idea, and they obviously fucking took him up on it because we had the Chappelle show. When he came back, HBO was streaming it. It was part of their streaming service. And so he ended up fighting or whatever, got the rights to his show, and then called HBO and was really like, why do I need you? Like, fuck it, that's so gangster, dude. Oh my god, I love it. Why do I need you? And then fucking pulled it off their streaming service and fucking threw it on Amazon. I was like, let's fucking go, dude. I love it. But so I don't think Dave Chappelle could ever be canceled. I know there's a lot of controversy over his jokes. We're not necessarily here to jump onto the controversy of it, but it's just interesting to me to see how this unfolds, because for the longest time, and I know I've talked about it a couple times on the podcast, where I feel like as we move forward, something that I personally feel that could happen is, in my opinion, is the death of comedy. And that's just more along the lines of with some aspects of free speech. Like, there are comics that take certain things too far. But someone like Dave Chappelle has always been a person who, in my opinion, inspires conversation about a lot of different topics. I feel like that's kind of where his... kind of like where he started, honestly. The Dave Chappelle show was supposed to do a lot of that to begin with, and a lot of different comics have talked about that. And he's just always been one of those where I feel like he's very good at being able to hit you with a joke, but also get you to have that kind of conversation about what's going on with what he's actually saying. So for him to talk about these certain situations come up, whether you want to talk about transgender, but the LGBT community in general, like, it's just been kind of crazy to see all the different opposing sides, whether for him or against him, and to see some people within that own community just turn on each other due to the beliefs of, whether they agree with what he said or just was like, hey, it's just a joke, or they're just completely against it. So it's been nuts, man. It's been nuts. It's been a crazy week just watching all that unfold. It's been going on longer than a week, but this last week he had that he did some kind of stand-up thing with a couple different people. I know Joe Rogan was there. Tom Segura was there. There were a lot of people. They did this whole like show on the road. And apparently whenever he got up at the end of his stuff, he did like a whole like monologue to the transgender community and was like, I am more than willing to sit down and have a conversation. and explained, my views, hear your views, but he gave like this whole like list of demands of like, I will not be summoned. It will be a place of my choosing at a time that works for me. I'm a busy guy, da 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 da, like all this whole like list of demands, and then just like walks off the stage. And it's just been crazy seeing like the community as a whole, where like I see a lot of I don't know, man. I don't want to say two faced, but I've seen like a lot of comedians where like I see them do like a lot of activism things as far as like going out to rallies, da 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 da. A lot of them for transgender movements and stuff, and then it was like some of them were like, well, we got to back Dave Chappelle. He's a comedian, and it's comedians are together for life. Like you can't turn your back on a comedian. And it just goes to show it's like, where are your actual views at? Not that I blame them for anything they're doing. Do what you want to do. You want to support the movement. Support the movement. You want to support Dave Chappelle. Support Dave Chappelle. I'm not batting an eye either way. But it's just funny to me because something that was pointed out by a podcast I was watching was there was that was part of his demands. That fucking, oh my God, I can't even think of her name now. But there's some comedian where he said at the very end, he's like, and you also have to admit that so and so is not funny.
It was Hannah Gadsby.
You got it. Boom, that one. I knew it was Hannah something. And she made this whole like tweet. I want to say what it was. She did this whole tweet where she went after the Netflix CEO, or just Netflix in general. And she's talking about all this other stuff. But the way that she worded it was like, what was it? I don't, basically, her main point, and I'm paraphrasing here, go look for it for yourself. But if you read it, like, it's very easy to see, like, what it feels like her main point was, I don't make enough money for the backlash that could come from this. And it was like, so it's about money. It's not about, like, actual personal views. It's not about this, not about that. It's about money. Like, you're okay with taking the money and then sitting down for things that you've said that you stand up for. I don't know. It was weird the way that she worded it. And I just thought that the people who brought it up, it was like I said, I'd had to have a tweet in front of me, and I was not fucking prepared for this part of it because I wasn't actually going to go down the rabbit hole. But anyways, so yeah, it's just interesting, man. It's just been an interesting week of just seeing like all these different comedians and just kind of like how they're taking their stance. Like a lot of people feel like right now is the most pivotal time for comedians to stand up and fight for actual freedom of speech as far as comedy goes, because they just feel that things are getting taken too far. And one of the things that was said that I completely agree with is that the majority of the people who are outraged normally aren't the people who are actually being talked to begin with, or the joke is about, transgender thing aside, because that's something completely different. But it's just crazy to me to see like where it's like a lot of things. I was looking at some post that was it Tom Segura? I think it was Tom Segura brought up, where it was like it would be something from his show. He would get called out at about Twitter, and he would specifically ask the person, at what part of my show did you feel uncomfortable? And well, I didn't see your show, but I just saw a snippet of it. Okay, well, you weren't even in the room. So what the fuck does it mean to you? You weren't there. I was like, so you're getting like a fucking 10-second snippet. You're taking the entire comedy aspect of it out. Like, this is so out of context to where if you were there for the entire show, and I feel like that's a lot of stuff with the Dave Chappelle shit too, where he even said that during that monologue. He's all like, you get mad about this one joke, but were you here before that? Were you here after that? Because for some of you who haven't watched The Closer, spoiler alert, he has this whole story at the very end for it's like the last 20-ish minutes or so about how he has a transgender friend and about how he met her through comedy and she wanted to be a stand-up comedian. And a whole bunch of shit went down. This is a real story. I went and looked it up myself. A whole bunch of shit went down. A lot of people didn't like the stuff that Dave Chappelle was saying early on about transgenders, about how he feels about it. And she backed him up saying, hey, whatever his views are, doesn't matter. He still treated me as a human being, even though I'm transgender, was super nice to me, brought me on the road, da-da-da-da-da. And she got a shit ton of backlash from the community and ended up killing herself. And it was like, holy fuck. Like, so that's one of those things where he's like, you hear this joke and you just get mad about it, but were you actually there? Did you actually watch it? And that was part of his list of demands. I will only talk to you if you go and watch my entire special in the entirety. If you watch the entire show from start to finish, so that way you come with full context of what was said, we can have that conversation. Which, smart. It's definitely smart. But yeah, it's just crazy to me that that's like so much of the outrage. Not that I'm talking about completely other comedians. I want to say completely other comedians. It's just with the aspect of like so much of this shit is like a 10-second clip here or something like that somebody saw, weren't even there, don't have the context, and it's like those are the people that get outraged. It's just fucking nuts, dude.
But
It's nuts.
how often does any comedian actually suffer genuine consequence from stuff, right? Like Dave Chappelle is fine; they're not taking down his thing.
But that's
All
because
these
he's
other
Dave
guys.
Chappelle. I don't feel that
Oh,
anybody else could do
even
that.
what's a lower ranked person? There's one guy they hired for SNL last year, got uninvited because they found his podcast where he did a lot of real racist Chinese voice, which was pretty funny. They canceled him with. I mean, they uninvited him to the show, so that's one. Other than that, it's like the guy who played Kramer on Seinfeld said the N word at that time, and
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, did you actually ever watch that video? I actually went back and watched that.
Kramer, yeah,
It's one thing to say it. Like I feel like at
he
some
was,
point people
yeah,
could
it was
be.
bad,
He went fucking off. Like it was
right?
like a solid 15-minute rant. He probably said the N word somewhere upwards of like fucking 50 times, and
Yeah,
wasn't
no
like
good. Yeah,
just saying it. He was directly calling somebody it. Like it was completely different. Like I was like, wow, man, he fucking went for broke on that one. So I was like, holy shit.
the few examples I can think of someone facing consequences, like they were right to, like Michael Richards, we were right to say, hey man, that was not all right.
I feel that it's not so much the consequences that are feared. I think it's we live in my opinion, we live in a world where right now word of mouth can be extremely damaging to a career. Once again, someone like a Dave Chappelle isn't going to survive the stuff that Dave Chappelle just went through. It's just not going to happen. Like if a lower tier person would have came up there, said all those jokes, especially in today's climate where transgenders are marginalized the way that they are, I don't think that
They would definitely
anybody,
be shut down.
yeah, 100%.
It's like there's another element to it where there is a large crowd now who is so against the cancel culture concept, sort of, where that then will build an audience for the person too if they get in trouble. Like there's a built-in like, oh, you said I can't watch this, then I'm double gonna watch it.
Potentially,
Go
but
both ways.
you still have to look at the revenue that's going to be
I feel like
lost.
there's a lot less of them people
It's,
than the
so
people that are going to
there's
get
like a
butthurt
mid-level
from.
where I guess it's bad because you were successful enough to make enough money, and not if you're like lower tier, it can actually work in your favor because there's a
It
bigger amount of
can,
audience.
it
The people, I
can,
don't know.
but the chances of getting on, I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious at this point. I mean, maybe once again, this just might be my point of view, but I feel it's pretty obvious at this point that a lot of majority of like top line networks are pretty PC. You know what I mean? Like they have to protect themselves. They have to protect their company. It makes sense. It's not like they don't. So I feel like if you did say something like that and cancel culture took, their turn to turn their head at you, the chances of you being able to get something like a Netflix special or an HBO special or something like that probably
But
pretty
yeah, it's
slim.
definitely
You're probably just going to be an on the road comedian after that, hopefully getting into clubs that don't have, more of the, I guess, PC
it
college
helps that there's
crowd.
more direct venues of revenue generation. People
Right.
can start up Patreon or whatever, and that.
But like I said, I don't know so much if it's the fear of cancel culture or if it's the fear of just the potential loss. Because once again, completely believe in freedom of speech, but I do understand that it does come with consequences. Like you could say what you want for sure, but there are going to be consequences as far as depending on if you care about what people think about what you say. Like that's just a consequence. That's just an obvious consequence that's going to happen. But to use that to weaponize to take somebody's career, take money out of their pocket, to take food out of their mouths, their family's mouths, da 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 da. It's like when is that step too far? Whenever it's just words, when it's just jokes. We're talking about just comedians here. Whenever we're falling far short underneath the act of I can't think of the fucking word I'm looking for, but basically calling people to violence. Um,
Exciting.
there you go. Thank you. Inciting
Yeah.
violence. It's like really, it's not fucking worth people. I mean, look at the James Gunn shit. That's a perfect example.
Yeah, that was
Perfect example. It's someone who's literally saying that he fucking wants pedophiles to die. Who argues with that? Like, who argues with that? Nobody. Fucking nobody. Like,
and luckily, even for him, it turned out
okay, but still.
Better for him. He got to then make Suicide Squad.
I mean, but once again, what if that card wouldn't have felt that way? What if fucking Warner Brothers would have passed on him too because of that? Now we have somebody who's a great fucking director just fucked because he hates pedophiles. Yeah. Fucking, you can't hate pedophiles, dude. I don't want to be right. Fucking cancel me. I don't want to be right.
He made jokes that were like about being that implied if they were not jokes that he was a pedophile. That was the thing that got him in trouble to start with.
There's a lot, but
shouldn't have. They were clearly jokes. They were very clear. And
they were like fucking 14 years ago. So, you know,
right. It was
that
and
too.
he had already addressed them like in the middle there at some point. Like it wasn't hidden. Disney would have seen it when they hired it. That was a fucking mess.
Yeah. But I mean, and that's just that's a fucking good example. I mean, that's fucking someone's livelihood. Like I said, if Warner Bros. Would have jumped on that bandwagon, James Gunn would be fucked. Be indie films from there. Like, I mean, that's pretty much all you can fucking do. That sucks. That literally sucks. And I feel like there's a lot of comedians that get worried. I know Bill Burr's come out and talked about it. He's got a lot of controversial shit where he talks about, you know, a lot of his jokes are a lot more misogynistic leading and fucking other shit like that. I mean, they tried to cancel him over his SNL fucking skit, which I thought was fucking hilarious. That shit was fucking so funny. Yeah, it just, I don't know. It's interesting. Like I said, it's very interesting. I know a lot of people didn't like the closer. I know I kind of said that it wasn't like big for me, but it was one of those things where it's like, it just really shows you how good of a storyteller Dave Chappelle is. It made me go back and watch a lot more of his older stuff and just to actually look past the jokes and just see like almost every fucking bit is like a story from start to finish. And it's just done really fucking well. Like, it's crazy. I could only wish that if I was to ever get into comedy like that, I would have that fucking kind of talent. Because to be able to fucking storytell like that and be able to keep it moving forward without losing, you know, where you're at or fucking up something, and also being able to make certain parts of it obviously a little bit more higher so you get the laughs, but still be able to drive a message home at the same time. It's pretty fucking impressive, honestly. So, but yeah. So leading me to the second one. Coming after Dave Portnoy. Oh my God, son. Woo! So the reason I want to bring this one up, and it's very interesting. So a lot of people want me to bring this one up because obviously a lot of people know I love Barstool Sports. I love fucking Dave Portnoy, El Presidente. I mean, his strategy to, one, be like, I've got receipts, leaked every fucking DM from the fucking chicks in question, everything. First off, brilliant. I mean, to fucking save those, fucking brilliant. But to attack the publisher and the CEO of that company, of that publisher, for trying to assassinate his character, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. And that's where the difference is between, like, right now, Dave Chappelle's got heat. I don't think Dave Chappelle has as much heat as Netflix has heat. You know what I mean? Like, people can be mad at Dave Chappelle, but it's always going to come back to, well, fuck you, Netflix. How could you play something like this on your network? Take it down. Dave Chappelle don't give a fuck. Like, it's done. He got paid. He doesn't give a fuck anymore. That's over with. Like, Dave Chappelle's moved on. Like, to where with Portnoy, like, Portnoy is Barstool. Like, Portnoy is, like, out of the picture. Barstool's basically out of the picture. Like, there's no more Barstool. Like, that's just how that works. And so it's just an interesting situation to actually have to see the person themselves go through and actually take this fight. And I think he's done it. I mean, I'm kind of impressed, honestly, with how he went directly at the publisher. I mean, to be fair, the CEO, I'm pretty sure he doesn't read every article that comes out. I'm pretty sure he probably didn't even see this article. I'm sure when he woke up the next morning and saw his fucking name was tagged and a whole bunch of shit on Twitter, was like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is going on? Who the fuck is Dave Portnoy? Like, he probably had no idea what the fuck was going on, dude. It was nuts, man. It was nuts. But yeah, there's been some allegations. The R word has not officially been stated yet, which, you know, is good, obviously, because I would fucking hate for Dave Portnoy to fucking do that. That would be terrible.
You mean rape,
Rape,
not
yes.
retarded.
Yes, rape.
Okay, yeah.
The scarlet letter. There we go.
Okay.
There's been basically the first one was an allegation of things getting a little too rough. I mean, he has a sex tape out there. He's definitely a rough sex type of guy. But he's got texts proving that she was completely consensual with all of it before, and texts afterwards saying that she enjoyed it and had a good time. And then there's also the other one where she said she suffered mental distraught after being with Dave. And it turns out that when she was reached out to, she actually said that there was absolutely no foul play whatsoever, and that it was her mother that actually filed the police report. Dave Portnoy then looked into that with the island of Nantucket, and turns out that they're like, we have no idea what you're talking about. If there was a police report filed against you, you would know about it. Like, it's kind of how that works. Like, you would know about it. We would be launching an investigation. The publisher said in their fucking thing that this was 8 months in the making. So kind of seems like a hit piece. I'm just saying that right now. Kind of seems like a hit piece. If it proves otherwise, then that sucks, and I will 100% be like, fuck Dave Portnoy, that's disgusting. But as it stands right now, I believe in innocent till proven guilty, and so far, we're sitting pretty goddamn innocent. So, yeah, the mother's full report that she wrote to the publisher said stuff about how he only comes out to the island to hang with 18-year-olds, and he's 43 and shouldn't be allowed to do that. Well, newsflash, 18 is legal, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants to at that age because it's legal, and it sounds like you're kind of, she said it's disgusting. That's your opinion. That is completely your opinion, but that's not illegal.
It's that it seems like you're saying the people who are bothered by this were already not going to like Dave Portnoy, I think. He sounds like a grosso. And
he's a party frat boy,
right? So whatever. Yep. The people who do like him are not.
Yeah.
You're not like swaying people, probably.
It's once again, this is the problem where we see situations where it's like he posted the entire report, right? In that entire report, that's all it's talking about, is that the mother's upset that he decides that whenever he wants to, once a year, he'll come out, hang out on the island. He hangs out with a whole bunch of 18-year-olds, and she has no idea what happens, but he hangs out with these 18-year-olds, and then he goes about his way, and maybe he had sex with these girls, and if he did, they have to live with that for the rest of their lives. Well, they're also adults. Like, at some point, they have to be looked at as adults. That's what 18 is. So, sucks to suck, I guess. As long as he's not doing anything, that's illegal, for sure. Absolutely. But like I said, he came with receipts, dude. Like, it was like on his Twitter page, it was like 22 fucking images of fucking like stuff where it's like, oh, you're leaving Nantucket Island? Yep, got a business to run. Oh, that's, to be fair, he like bleeped their fucking like photos and shit. But he's like, it's like, oh, well, that sucks. I'm going to miss you so much. I already miss, like your dick and stuff like that and everything else. And it's just like, well, and then it's stuff like, it's like 2 days later, 3 days later, 4 days later, 5 days later. It's like, obviously, like, I don't know if maybe she just wanted to be the next Miss Portnoy and that didn't quite work. I don't know. But it's crazy, man. My problem with it is just like, that's scary though. Like to have like a actual company come at you with like almost borderline rape allegations with zero fucking evidence. Like that's kind of terrifying. Yeah. That's kind of fucking terrifying. I mean, obviously it's not legal, so there's no, actual legal repercussions, but at the same time, it's like,
and also there's only like a dozen people in the world of prominence enough to warrant actually doing, like, I don't think anyone's writing a hit piece about us.
Oh, for sure,
I'm
100%.
not.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, fucking tomorrow, let's say my fucking Twitch pops the fuck off, or fucking dead funny, you know, it's scary
Yeah.
that can be that quickly taken care of, like where it's just like, you know what, one bad word of mouth, bam, now it's fucking. I mean, they're trying to fucking get Barstool canceled, they're trying to fucking get his pizzas taken out of fucking Walmart, like all this shit over what? Nothing was done. Like, because you don't like that he hangs out with 18-year-old chicks. I mean, I guess
which is fully legal.
fully legal, 100%. I was just like,
Use
what
this as a
the
lesson,
fuck?
folks. Keep your text messages,
There you go.
regardless of what they say. Keep
There you go.
Unless
It
they
was
say something
nuts.
incriminating, then don't keep them.
Yeah.
Actually, if they say, "Boy, I like
Well, yeah.
sexually assaulting you," then don't write those in the first place.
Be
Obviously,
on the
keep
right
those-
side of the story, folks.
There you
Right
go.
side of the story.
You have those, and those are incriminating. Keep those because I want you arrested. But, like,
Exactly.
I got complicated. I don't know.
Oh man, it was actually funny. One of the comedians I was listening to was talking about it. He was all like, "You know what, dude? Dave Portnoy, I could see you running for president soon." He's like, "This sounds like a fucking young Trump in the fucking making right here." It's like, although to be fair, he brought up a good point. He's like, he would have. A lot of people were like, "Well, after all the shit that happened with Trump, do you think he would actually have the success for that?" And he's like, "Well, one thing that he would do different that Trump didn't do. It's like Trump was the kind of guy." He's like, I knew Trump was going to make it into office once the whole grab her by the pussy thing didn't fucking sink his career. Once that happened, I was like, Trump's getting in there. That's 100% happening. And he's like, the reason why Dave Portnoy would be able to get away with, or would actually be able to move forward if he wanted to run for president, which he's not going to. But if he did, I would be fucking mind blown. But I mean, to be fair, we just had fucking Kanye put his name on the ballot too, so who fucking knows? Anyways, that being said, Trump was one of those where it was like, he's just going to say what the fuck he wants to, and he doesn't have to explain it to you. To where, like, Dave Portnoy, he definitely explains shit, like, every fucking time. Like, even with this, like, as soon as the hit piece came out, immediately fucking did a whole goddamn video. Like, explaining everything in detail. I know exactly what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. It's nuts.
He doesn't need to be the guy with the piece in his ear, you know, having somebody feed him what to say.
Nope.
Like, he's just going to tell you how it is, and that's what it's going to be.
It's nuts, man. Yeah, so it's been a big week for good old cancel culture there. I don't know. And then he's also got like the anti-cancel culture shit going too with his fucking marketing team. That was pretty intense where like they were going after his pizzas, and so he's all like, just so you guys know, like all these pizzas that are being sold, we match whatever amount of dollars that go into the Barstool Fund. The Barstool Fund has been literally keeping small businesses open the entire time of COVID. Like they just got through doing like another fucking 350,000 donation to fucking small businesses all in New York. So, and it's like, all right, now it's like you got that whole like I guess fucking dual-edged sword going on as far as do we want to fucking support the pizzas or not? I don't know. It's fucking crazy.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
The thing, like, whatever, those people aren't buying those pizzas to begin with. Like, the
Yeah,
people who
for
want
sure.
them.
Exactly.
It's more the people who are going to take it to the extreme and stand outside of Walmart or quit Walmart because, you know, they're fucking serving the pizzas or whatnot. Same thing
And
happened
at
with...
that point, like, genuinely at that point, is that the most evil corporation with stuff inside of Walmart? Is Dave Portnoy the worst person profiting off stuff inside Walmart? Probably not.
Oh,
Like,
God.
Not to defend him necessarily, but like, there's a lot of garbage people running a lot of garbage companies.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's just going to be interesting to see because this is so fresh and so new for the Portnoy one to see how things get spun media-wise. For instance, another good example of this would have been back to the Dave Chappelle thing here. Whenever that was all going down, the first news piece that came out about the actual transgender who staged the walkout was Netflix fires transgender walkout organizer.
Yeah.
And then it was like a non-biased news source, which is not CNN and not Fox, but a non-biased news story publication published, and it was like Netflix fires person who links all the fucking details of how much Dave got paid, this, that, and also was the organizer of the transgender walkout. It's all like, oh, imagine that. There's a tad bit more to that story. Yeah, just a little bit more to that story. It's crazy. So, yeah, it's it'll be interesting to see what the media is going to do with this, because it's not like Dave Portnoy is a nobody. Like, he's pretty fucking well known. So, I mean, fuck, they're the official gambling company of the fucking UFC, boxing, MMA now. Like fucking Barstool has literally went from like a frat guy video company to something huge now. It's fucking nuts, dude.
I'll never forget that fight that we were watching where they were betting on the fights.
And they lost every bet,
single...
dude. I was like, I'm just gonna bet against Portnoy. It sucks, but fuck.
Every single bet. It was like 0-8, like through all the whole fight card. It was
was rough, dude.
It was like, fuck it, take my money.
Oh man, I love watching his fucking stock stuff, dude. I gained a lot of respect for him whenever he used the power of his platform, or his name, I guess I should say, to get on a video conference with Vlad from Robinhood and drilled him about the fucking shit they did during the GameStop stuff. That was great. Like, if Vlad showed up wearing like this meme hat and this cool hoodie, he was thinking he was getting in with Dave Portnoy. He shows up laughing and like trying to crack jokes, and Dave Portnoy was like, yeah. So let's talk about how you fucked people out of money. And then just started drilling his ass, dude. I was like, let's fucking go. You see Vlad like get real serious real quick. The meme hat comes off and goes to the side. Like all kinds of shit like that. He's like, this is a different kind of interview than I thought was going to happen. It's like, yeah.
Welcome to the road.
Dave Portnoy went in, son. I was like, let's go, dude. Man, dude. So, yeah, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens story-wise whenever all this fucking shakes out. Like I said, once again, I believe in innocent until proven guilty 100%. Right now, we're innocent, but if anything does happen, I mean, obviously, that would be it. I'd cut fucking ties. Sure. Done.
It seems like it'll just blow over.
But yeah, so far, yeah, for sure.
I basically am only familiar with him from like things blowing up where people were talking about some shitty thing they did, and then it goes away. Like,
yeah, that seems about his MO. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like Dave Portnoy, dude's a dick. Yeah, yeah. I love watching his one bite thing. That shit's so fucking fun, especially when he has fucking people on there too. But just going on to all these restaurants and doing the whole one bite. Everybody knows the rules, and I'll never forget the first one I saw was the one where he got kicked out of the establishment. It was like one of the, I think it's called Godfather's Pizza or something like that. And it was like one of the number one places. It was old. It was back when he still had some weight on him and shit too. So you see him walking out. The fucking slice of pizza is like this fucking big. And he's walking out with the one slice. He takes a bite. And he's all like, it's fucking cold. Da-da-da-da-da. Starts like doing his rating. And then this guy that works there walks up. He's like, do you guys have permission to be filming out here? And he's all like, nope. And he's all like, all right, well, go ahead and leave. He's like, are we getting kicked out? And he's like, yep, you're getting kicked out. And he's all like, and we're getting kicked out. Fucking zero. How about that? Trash. This pizza's trash. And the dude's like, all right, well, I'll take it from you so we don't have littering or something. He hands it to him. He's like, fucking trash. He starts walking away, and all these people are standing outside, and they're all like, did he just kick you guys out? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, do you know who this is? And the dude's all like, no, I don't know who this is. That's Dave Portnoy from Barstool. You fucked up. Like, big time. It's like people fly across the country to fucking try places that he's rated fucking high. It's insane how many business success stories there are where people are like, thank you so much for coming to rating our pizza. Our fucking customer fucking numbers went through the fucking roof. So it's like, I'd hate to be that guy. I'm pretty sure he's the only person that's ever kicked him out. There's been some people that's gotten upset about his scores for sure. There's one where he gave this one like a 6.4 or something like that. And the dude's like, are you fucking kidding me? My pizza's way better than that. And he's all like, sorry, man. Psst, my opinion. I can't help it. People want my opinion. Fucking 6.4. It's not going to change. Sorry. Oh, man. But what I do like is he made these fucking frozen pizzas. And they're called One Bite because that's the fucking gimmick. And he does a review. And everybody goes, well, it's obviously a biased review because he gave it a 10. He's like, it's fucking solid 10. 10 out of 10. 100%. So they said it's a biased review. So then the next video, he does this whole thing about, all right, I found this woman, brought her in off the street. She's going to try it, da-da-da-da-da. The next week, everybody finds out that it was a joke because it was his girlfriend. So obviously that was biased. So then he's like, all right, check it out. Complete random guy pulled him off the street, just pulled the pizza out, gonna set it down, put him in front of the camera. By far, one of the funniest videos from him I've ever watched. I was fucking crying. I was laughing so hard. he walks around with a cardboard mustache taped to his lip. And only people who know Dave Portnoy will get this. He had a fucking hat, James, that said, "I love Roger Goodell." I was like, no fucking way, dude. Oh my god. I was like, if I could count how many videos and tweets he has of how much he fucking hates Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
I was like, no fucking way, dude. I was dying laughing.
Definitely not Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, he's just taking a bite. 10 out of 10. This is a great pizza. Da, 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 da. And then you hear somebody in the background go, "Hey, Dave, we got a podcast coming up in like 30 minutes. He's like, "I suddenly have to leave because somebody in this house might have a podcast in the next 30 minutes." I was like, oh my god, dude. It's pretty good. I can't believe he had to stop all his fucking melon shit, dude. Like, with how fucking crazy that got. Like, he used to have a whole unboxing video that he did every fucking, like, 2 weeks. And it got to the point where, like, he showed where he went out of town for, like, a month, came back. His entire living room was just filled with Amazon boxes. He's like, I literally have to stop this. Like, he's like, I literally could spend the rest of my life just doing unboxing videos at this fucking point because you guys won't stop sending stuff. He's like, super appreciated, but like, that's all it is. And I can't tell you how many times though it's just been like fucking dildos or something with notes from people saying go fuck yourself. So it's been pretty fucking funny. I was like, that's pretty good. Oh man. Are the chocolate asshole molds? Those are that's a whole
Hershey
fucking,
Kisses.
yeah, that's a whole other thing
sir.
right there. That is a whole nother thing right there.
Those are wild.
Yeah, I mean that they go that far where they actually send like something out for you to fucking get a mold of
Like,
your actual asshole,
and
then you send it back, and then they make chocolates.
You don't know about these, JoJo?
Oh no, I didn't know. I just assumed.
They send you a whole kit where you had to like clean shave everything, like hack that sucker up, and you actually pour a mold, and it hardens, and then you put chocolate in it, and it makes an actual, like, unique, obviously one of a kind, chocolate of your body.
Wow.
An actual Hershey's Kiss.
Neat.
Yeah, it's impressive. I got the kit if you want to see it.
I actually like, it's something I want to do, like the next time somebody wrongs me, is the chocolate dick one. Because when you open the box and you see this gigantic just chocolate dick sitting in a box, the top of the box on the inside just says "eat a dick." That's perfect, dude.
Simple and effective.
Yeah.
The bag of dicks is a good one.
The bag of dicks is another one I've seen.
Yeah, eat a bag of dicks.